right, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the Double Dribble Podcast. It's episode 23. As always, I'm Desto.
And I'm Drew.
It's Drew, man. Wait, hold on. Am I am
What's
I
up?
over here or
Oh, no, there you go. Yeah. Well, usually on the other side. It's up to you. Yeah.
yeah, it don't
There we go.
matter. What's up, Drew, man? How you feeling today, man?
Very good, man. It's been very interesting these last few days. Last
Mm,
playoffs are taking a turn that a lot of people weren't expecting. So
facts,
we're gonna see.
facts.
It's tonight's two seasons on the line tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your Lakers can close out the Warriors, can close out the defending champs. But
Please do so.
we gonna see how that goes.
Yeah. Um, I guess no. You know what? You know what? What the team I forgot to add? Cause I know we want to talk about the teams that we watch the most. That's the Sixers and the Lakers. But um we gotta talk about the Heat and the Knicks. So I guess we can start with that series.
Yeah, that's the worst series of the bunch. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. So what you expect tonight? Knicks at home. They're down 3-1. Series hasn't looked great for them at all besides one game, and that was the game that um Jimmy Butler missed.
yeah.
So what's your predictions tonight, and this how you think the series is going?
I mean, this has been a hard series to watch, but I honestly have no reason to believe in the Knicks showing up tonight, even though they are at home. I still have any reason to believe they're going to show up and like actually, extend this series at least another game. I guess the only possibility I can give them is maybe they just have maybe some of their guys just due for a hot shooting night. Maybe I know Julius Randle had a decent scoring game last game. He was terrible on defense though, and
Yeah,
was getting out hustled and outworked by freaking Kyle Lowry running in there. Like,
bro. That fourth quarter, I think they gave up like 7 or 8 offensive rebounds.
yeah, I think Kyle
Bro,
Lowry
that
got
was
like 4 or 5 of them too.
it's
Like,
crazy.
which I mean, that is kind of what he does. Like, he is like a hustling dude like that, but still, it's unacceptable because that's supposed to be one of, if anything, that's supposed to be one of Julius Randle's strengths.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not scoring, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I get like the only chance I really give him is maybe Jalen Brunson can get hot, can have a crazy game, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't buy it. I was skeptical about the Knicks from the jump. I thought they were gonna lose to the Cavs. I think everybody's still stunned about that,
Mm-hmm.
and are probably mad about that because I think it would have been a lot more interesting of a series, the Cavs and the Heat. At least
Probably so.
you would think,
Yeah.
but Cavs just that inexperience and they didn't show up. A lot of those guys weren't ready for the moment. Donovan Mitchell also had underperformed in that series, which it's not the first time he's done that.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I mean, they like really with the Cavs. With honestly, what the Knicks are doing right now is making the Cavs look really bad. that's
Yeah.
that's if anything. I might really take anything taking anything from this series in regards to the Knicks because I never really believed in them in the first place. They kind of fooled me. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like they kind
They
of fooled
fooled me
me.
a little bit. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
right. But the person who didn't fool me was Julius Randle, which was like I felt better more if he was out. I was remember like when we were talking about the series, I was kind of like, is he gonna miss some more time? Because I was kind of just skeptical about
Yeah.
like I don't know if he's really gonna be a positive, and he really for the most part hasn't been a positive. Um, but yeah, I mean like I expect the Heat to probably close them out tonight. Um, but I guess hey, it would be nice if they can make it interesting. But I just don't believe in that team. And I'm
Yeah.
mad that they tricked me.
Yeah, they definitely
Man,
um yeah, they definitely tricked me a little bit. I'm not gonna
because
lie.
they've been looking like how I expect them. We're looking around one,
Yeah, they did.
but
And um like essentially they kind of got, if you look at it, they really were supposed to get swept if you kind of look at it, because Jimmy, he plays the first game, they lose, and Jimmy, basically, I feel like he probably should have played game 2, but he had the ankle injury at the end of game 1, and they already won one on the road, so I guess they kind of could afford to rest him, which I don't agree with. But they barely win game 2 because
It
they
was a crunch
really
time game. Yeah, it
it
was
was a crunch
like
time
they
game.
needed
Jalen
every
Brunson,
single
yeah,
freaking
and then Julius Randle had his first good playoff game, so and then Jalen Brunson played well, so it was a couple things that that happened.
And what's crazy
Um,
is like this was like if you could write a situation or scenario in which the Knicks would actually make like a shocking deep playoff run, this was the perfect scenario for them, right? Like they might not see another scenario like this lineup this way for them, and probably who knows when. All right, like
mhm.
after they beat the Cavs, like to have the Heat, also with missing they of course they've been missing Hero, but also have Jimmy Butler get hurt, roll his ankle, not miss a game, and then like they have home court advantage. Like on paper, you can make the case. I mean, they were the better team in the regular season. Um, yeah, it's just to get beat the way they've been getting beat has just been comical. You know?
Yeah, they've been getting out hustled. Jimmy it seemed like it's been kind of easy for him. They've been sort of competitive. Like in that last game, it was pretty competitive. I'm just shocked. I do want to give Miami credit though. I'm just shocked how well they've been shooting the ball in the playoffs because they missing probably their second best scorer, Tyler Hero, who's a good shooter. Duncan Robinson, who was just in and out of the lineup, just not because of injuries or something. He was just because of his play, pretty much. He's come in. If I'm not mistaken, he's been starting. I'm not.
Yeah, I think the I mean, also Struce has been big.
Yeah,
Gabe
Strud.
Vince has been
Yeah,
big.
yeah. Martin. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've been
I
hitting
mean,
three.
yeah. Honestly, the last game they didn't even really shoot the ball that well. Last game,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what
Well,
makes it even worse for the Knicks.
yeah.
Is
Last game they
is
didn't even
like
shoot the ball well,
yeah,
and they were just getting out hustled, out rebounded.
yeah,
Even in Madison Square Garden tonight, like I feel like this series is probably over. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I don't know. The Knicks, I actually thought they could have actually made the Eastern Conference Finals after they beat the Cavs. I was like, hold on, like they really came to play. They had a good game plan. They was pushing the Cavs around, a team that was favored to beat them, even though everybody thought it was gonna be a good series. And they came and they handled business in 5, which was insane. So I'm thinking they going against Miami. They gonna do it to them, but then shoot,
yeah. It really just, I guess, like that Cavs series really just came down to matchups, and then them just being more physical. Like they were winning a lot of the hustle plays and things like that, and killing them on the glass. Like they were winning that kind of like rough, gritty kind of game, I guess you could say. And like they took advantage of them just not really having any like 3-point shooting, like, or perimeter scoring outside of their two guys, and Donovan Mitchell not really playing up to his standards that he showed at least earlier in the season. Um, but yeah, I think like it's not really that surprising to see like how they've been playing now. It's just like the way they got here is just wild.
yeah, yeah. So you saying this? You saying this reps?
I think it's raps.
Tonight?
Um,
Oh, and we definitely get into that. We're gonna preview some of these series, and I got a strong hot take about these All NBA awards, these MVP awards, the Defensive Player of the Year awards, all defense, all that. So yeah, we gonna get to that for sure.
oh yeah, we definitely get into because yeah, this stuff annoys me. You probably know what I'm gonna talk about, but yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so we both saying the wraps tonight. Miami close them up.
I think so.
I agree. Get out of here, New York. Even
I'm
though
glad to be surprised.
I
I
would
would
like to
gladly
see
be
y'all.
surprised though.
Yeah, I would like to see y'all like win. It's been nice seeing the Knicks in the playoffs. I think it's good for the league seeing that environment, Madison Square Garden, the fans and everything. But I would like to see it, but I don't know. my belief is gone with that team. All right. So, um, another team we'll talk about, which one of the more entertaining series, probably the most entertaining series in the second round, is the Celtics and the 76ers. So you had before we talk about the game yesterday, he had a phenomenal game 4 where Philly was pretty much controlling the game. Harden was doing his thing, and B was doing his thing, and Jason Tatum was struggling in the first half, but in the second half comes Tatum. He starts to pick it up. The Celtics defense becomes really good, and they get back into the game. Then they tie the game, eventually take the lead, and Philly, they do some have some clutch plays by James Harden. I think PJ Tucker in overtime. He had a putback and one to tie the game, and then James Harden the game winning 3. Jaylen Brown with the boneheaded play when he helped off. When the Celtics could have won up 3-1, the series ends up tied 2-2. Then fast forward to yesterday. You know what? You can get your analysis on that one, Andrew. I wasn't able to really watch the full game when it was live. I ended up rewatching it, but what you think?
No, I mean we can go back into game 4 real quick because to me
Mhm.
that was pivotal for them because that was a crunch time game. After them leading, they were up by almost 20. The Celtics come back. They get stagnant in the fourth quarter. It's really just honestly Harden and Embiid that were really doing anything that whole game. None of the role players really showed up. I think Niang hit a couple of threes, but apart from that, everybody else just kind of like just throwing up bricks. And
Mhm.
they were playing well defensively, but apart from that, like offensively, it was literally just Harden and Embiid. Fourth quarter comes around, and I do think it was affecting him some, the knee brace, and like because I think he wasn't getting like a lot of lift compared to what he has in the past. But yeah, he got blocked like 3 consecutive times by Al Horford, Joel Embiid down the stretch, and they just kept
Mhm.
forcing it to him. And then they got it back into Harden, and he hit like some vintage step back floaters, hit a little pull up step back midi over Jaylen Brown. Like he was just cooking. He had the full bag going, and then he hit the floater to send it to overtime with like 13 seconds or something like that. And the neck on the other side, the Celtics get the ball. They come down and they have almost an identical play to what they have to end the game. Uh, Tatum drives and kicks it out to Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
Marcus
he had
Smart
a he
front
had a he had a
wide
good look.
open, butt
Yeah.
naked, like he front rimmed it from 3, and
Mm.
he got it off in time in the regulation. I was like the whole time, I'm like, oh shit, like Marcus Smart's gonna really do this, and because he's been
Yeah.
hitting this series. Honestly, he's been hitting this
Yeah.
series like more than I was expecting. If there's anybody that you want the ball to end up in their hand for the Celtics, it's probably going to be Marcus Smart out of the guys that have been getting run really. And it's not like he's terrible, but he's been playing. I think he's been shooting the ball a little bit better than what he normally does. And but he missed in the crunch in the clutch there. Overtime comes, and really, PJ Tucker, he doesn't score a lot of points. He doesn't even make a lot of threes, but he has those very special moments, hustle plays, offensive rebounds, and he had probably his biggest play of the season, honestly. That air ball from Tobias, and luckily,
Mhm.
luckily it was an air ball. That's how crazy it was. They were fortunate that he airballed it right into PJ Tucker's hands. He caught that, goes up and 3-point play. Well, before that, this is what kills me about PJ Tucker is he hits the layup and 1, and before he goes to the free throw line to go hit the and 1 free
I knew
throw,
what you was to say.
it's a big free throw because it's like a minute left. They need this. They got to tie the game. Before that, he goes to MB and he just starts talking shit to MB, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You need to wake your ass
Yeah.
up. Why are you
Because
being
he was
passive?"
tripping.
Yeah, MB was tripping. He got in his face. He was talking shit to him, and you could
Yeah,
see like
and he
MB
wasn't
just like was
worried. He
listening.
went down there and he knocked it down.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, damn, man. Like he just like he did all this. Like it's almost like the free throw was an afterthought. I'm like, like PJ's not a great free throw shooter like that, but to
Yeah.
him it was like, he's decent. I think he's probably like 75% something like that.
Yeah.
But he went to the line, just knocked it down. swish, nothing but net. And I'm like, okay, like that was a huge play.
Mm-hmm.
The next, then of course we have the final couple plays where, um, I think after like I think they had like a couple of fouls back and forth. I think like on both ends. Um, of course, I think it was Tatum had the push off, which I'm honestly not tripping about. I know it was a people were making a big deal about it. Like he did like a little kind of extension on a push off on Tyrese Maxey for that step back three, but they've been kind of letting that go. I'm only gonna be tripping if they've been calling it one way because I remember Harden that to Smart. It was similar. It wasn't as egregious, but it was similar because I think like it looked worse because Maxey's so small in comparison to Tatum, and he just kind of like the space that it created. But I think I want to say like in game one, I think Harden did the same thing to Smart. It was like a slightly. I think like Smart also kind of tried to exaggerate it, but they didn't call it foul. So I'm like, if they're gonna let that go, okay. But but yeah, like so they didn't call it, and then he hit the three, and I want to say what happened after that? Oh, the three actually put them up two, I believe, right? And then of course they get the ball down to Embiid, and he goes in on Tatum. They got I want to say PJ Tucker on the opposite side corner on the weak side. They got Tyrese Maxey on the top of the wing, and right as soon as he catches it, he goes into Tatum. I think he's going to go for a layup.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jaylen Brown come down and help from the corner. I wouldn't even say. I guess you could say it was a strong side. It kind of was just like at that point the ball was in the middle of the floor, right? So it was almost like there was just like it was like no man's land at that point. But there was nobody that could help. And honestly, when Embiid threw it, he still got a pretty decent contest up. Like you
Yeah,
even see like
you can.
yeah,
It's even in that picture right there. But
yeah.
I mean,
But it was still
yeah, in that sense, I feel like since you up two, it's not like you only up one or
exactly. That's what made it dumb. Straight up, like it was just
yeah.
like he had like one of those moments where he just like lost track of the situation, his game awareness. I don't know what was going on because, well, I mean, he's a really good on ball defender, but I guess on off ball defense is one of his weaknesses. If you're gonna say
Mhm.
anything on him, like as far as his defense goes, but that was more just like a mental error. Like he just like reflexively just I guess saw Embiid down there with Tatum and decided just to go run and help off. And he probably thinks because Embiid sometimes, to be fair, sometimes he doesn't make that pass.
Yeah.
A lot of times Embiid will like another person will come down to help, and Embiid will go right up, right? But credit to Embiid, he realized like you know what, like it's wide open. Harden, like I think he's shooting like 43% something like that on catch and shoot. Hit it,
Yeah,
kicked it to
he
him in
been
the
knocking
corner,
threes down.
and he knocked it down. And then they still had time left, and that was the whole controversial play after that. Is
Mhm.
how do you feel about it? We can go talk about that play, but what do you feel about that? Because me and you really didn't talk about this. What do you think about how they handled that final possession
Um,
in game four?
so me personally, I don't mind them not calling timeout because that gives the Celtics a chance. I mean, that gives the opposite team, which is the Sixers in this case, a chance to set their defense, get quality defenders on the court. Because like you could say they were attacking certain matchups that they like. Maybe you can
Maxi,
yeah, Maxi, or
yeah,
you can try to get Harden off the court or anything like that. Um, so I'm a it's fine not calling timeout, especially when you have that much time left to go to go down the court and make a play. Um, you have the experienced guys on your team who's been there in these situations plenty of times before, so that's not an issue for me. Um, the execution though was an issue. I thought um Tatum had a look once he got to the mid range area. Um, and I feel like he hesitated a second and then he made a pass out to Smart, which if he had an extra second left, um, it would have been a good pass. But he hesitated. He passed it to Smart, and Smart he made the shot, but he didn't even get it off in time.
yeah,
And but I'm a
and
I'm
and
I'm not
like
I'm not mad at them not calling timeout though.
Did you when he first hit it? Or when he first shot the ball? Did you think it actually counted, or did you
Nah, I
realize
knew
the
that. I knew
time?
that was no good. I knew that was no good.
I dead ass, man. I was like, I thought I
You
thought he
thought it
got it off in
counted?
time because he threw it up fast. Like, I mean, initially before they did the replay, I realized it was late, but for a second I was like, oh shit. I just like was so focused on, like, I wasn't even looking at the light. I was so focused on just like the play going through. I'm
Yeah,
like, I was like, God damn.
yeah. I knew that. I knew that was
Boom.
no good.
But to me, I'm a I'm a little bit mixed on how I feel about it. So I agree with what you said. Like, I don't think they should have called a time. I'm fine with, well, I should say this. I'm fine with them not calling a
Yeah.
timeout initially. Like when they inbounded it, I'm cool with that because I understand you don't want to. Because I know what they were going to do. If they call a timeout, Maxi's coming out and he's putting Melton in for sure. Because
Mm,
Melton was playing really good defense in that game. Really been playing really good defense the last couple games.
mm,
But they would definitely have rather had Melton in there instead of Maxi on like a just straight up defensive play. Especially like he's had some good moments against Tatum. But yeah, so like you want them to make that switch. But once I see that Tatum is just dribbling the ball up the court slow and easy, in no hurry, like they literally were coming up the court like they were
yeah,
tied and they were playing for like the last shot of the game. That's how they
yeah.
basically were. Like the moment it got to, like, I see him just walking the ball up the court and then the screen comes and it's like he's taking some time and it's like 10 seconds. I'm like, no, immediately I'm like, timeout. Because like it just like seemed like they were just taking way too long to get into. I'm like, in that situation, if you're down one, you typically want to get more
You
than
want to
one
get it.
chance at it.
You want to get. Yeah, you
Yeah,
want to get a look at it first. That way, if you miss, you can foul, and
yeah.
then
Because the
yeah.
worst case scenario, like you foul, they go to the line. Let's say they make both, you still only down three, or they miss one, you down two still, and you have more time for another chance. But they were playing it like we're gonna get the last shot of the game, and
That's what you do if you tie, not if you
exactly. And people
down.
were bringing up the whole thing last year where it was like, oh, like against the Nets, they did this, like the Nets, they didn't call timeout. They just came straight down and then they executed and they got that layup from Tatum or whatever. But
Mm,
in that play, like Jaylen Brown was going fast. He was pushing it from the moment they inbounded the ball. Like they were like
yeah,
up,
they was
up
going
tempo. They
after
were
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they were up tempo. That was complete opposite of what they were doing in that possession. So the defense wasn't scrambling. The defense was kind of like laid back, just waiting for the play to unfold. And then if you're going to be critical on Tatum there, it's like he probably should have just taken the shot because he did have Maxi kind of beat, or like he had Embiid coming over, but Embiid was kind of like out of position. I don't think he had a clean like contest. I wouldn't even say that. So forget Embiid. He could have got a shot off on Maxi, just shoot over him because he drives all the way in, but he could have just did a little mid range shot right there, like he has done before in this series,
Mm-hmm.
right over Maxi. And like I think that would have been a better shot just to do that instead of you don't need a three. And so, but he drove all the way in, got into the rim, threw a loop and pass out to Smart. Smart got it off like pretty fast. Like that's one of the fastest shots I've seen him release. Of course, it was still late because by the time he got it, I think he had like less than a second. But so I would
So,
probably definitely give some.
so the idea was good. The execution was bad though.
Execution
So
was bad, but I would have said that the moment I saw them walking it up and it started to get like the time was getting to like 10 seconds and he still hadn't really gone into he hadn't even gone around the screen yet, right? He hadn't even like he hadn't even gotten downhill yet. I would have called timeout then because it seemed like at this point like y'all are like playing way too slow and this might just be the last shot of the game potentially. And so that's kind of like, you kind of take the chance, I guess. But yeah, I would have said like initially no timeout, but then middle of the play call timeout. But yeah, but regardless, he got it off late. The Sixers tied up 2-2. That was honestly like, to me, like probably, if not, I'm gonna say, well, no, I'm not gonna say the best. That was probably like top 3 best James Harden game in the playoffs. It's got to
yeah,
be, yeah.
I think
And
he had one of his top two. The other game one. Well, top five. At least.
yeah, I actually think that game was more impressive to me than game one, even though in a funny way, even though MB was playing. I
Mhm.
don't know. I just felt like overall, like his game, like he was like I think he was more like impressive. In game one, it was mostly like, yeah, he was doing some playmaking, but he was just like in the zone offensively, just getting buckets. But he had to hit so many clutch shots in that game, like down the stretch in the fourth, and then he also like he had 4 steals. He was getting like he was making big stops defensively and like scoring on the other end, and he was getting dudes involved.
I guess he hit the game winner in both.
He hit the game winner and hit the shot that sent it to overtime, and he hit the game winner. I mean, yeah, I remember like I actually read like after the game. I think it was funny to me when I read it. I was like, only player that had that stat line. Only one other players had that stat line that he had in NBA history, and it was funny as hell to me when I saw who the player was. You probably didn't see this. Who do you think is the only player to have at least 42 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals in a playoff game? It's only one other player in NBA history. Who do you think it is?
I'm gonna say it's either LeBron or Michael Jordan.
Neither one. But it is an active player in the NBA, and they were in the playoffs already. They got knocked out though.
Say the stat line again.
42 points, 9. So to have at least 42, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals in a playoff game. Only one other players had that line in a playoff game in NBA history.
Giannis.
Nope. I know, right?
Ja?
Nope. See, this is a good one.
They got kicked out the playoffs already.
They got knocked out in round 1.
Oh, he said in the private. He said Drew Holiday.
Wait, who said Drew Holiday?
Boogie. He was in
hell no.
Not Drew Holiday.
When the hell Drew Holiday gonna do something like that? What? 42, 9, 8? Come on, man.
So it wasn't Drew Holiday.
Oh hell no! What?
All right.
Imagine Drew Holiday having a game like that in his life.
I mean, he did have. You remember he dropped 50, like.
But the 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 steals. Come on, man.
I can see that. The rebounds maybe not, but the assists and the steals.
In a playoff game though.
Not in the playoffs. Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
But I've seen him have some games like that, especially earlier. When he was with the Pelicans, he dropped 40 in the playoffs.
All right, I'm gonna give you another hint. It's a player that is no longer. I mean, he would probably say he's not in his prime anymore. He's past his prime now.
He got kicked out the playoffs in the first round. No.
Give me one more guess, and I'm gonna give you like the biggest hint.
All right. Oh. Okay, he put Russ.
I didn't even see that. Where he put that?
In the private chat.
Oh, yes.
It was Russ?
Westbrook, man. Westbrook.
Oh, okay. That's not that surprising.
Yeah. The game that he did it was 2007 first round against the Rockets.
2007.
No, 2017. I'm tripping. 2017 first round against the Rockets. It was game 2 when he took like 40 shots.
But you said game 2?
He had game 2 when we beat them in Houston. We went up 2-0, but like Russ dropped like 50-point triple double in game 2. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. And I think they won game 3.
Yeah.
That's when Hey, Boogie, say you gotta connect your mic and
since your device isn't connected
before I can add you.
But you were right. It was Russ. He had 50-point triple double and 4 steals in game 2. That was it. And that was the year like that he won MVP or whatever.
What's up, fellas?
What's up,
hello, man? What you think about this the Sixers Celtics series, man?
I texted my homeboy yesterday. Like, I think the Celtics in trouble.
Sheesh. That's an understatement.
We gotta think about it, man. James Harden did his job. He won them 2 games. And Embiid won him a game last night. He finally played like the MVP since he came back into the series. and we supposed to think that's not supposed to happen again tomorrow. My question for the Celtics is this: why in the hell are y'all playing small? Why are y'all
Hey,
not starting Robert Williams alongside Al Horford? Especially considering how bad Al Horford been shooting this series. That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's only because they've been playing this way a lot this season. They've gone fully into that whole three, stretch big 3 ball, spread them out space, and so they stopped playing that double big for a while.
yeah, because
And
I was gonna say like because Rob Will he was out like at the beginning of the season, and that's the lineup that they was running,
yeah,
and
and they had a lot of
then
success with it.
yeah, they were shooting the ball so well. They was a number one seed in the NBA, so it kind of makes sense. But
And
you know,
also, to be honest, Rob Williams to me has also been kind of he been very sus in this series. Like he
He's
gets
been listen. Rob has been dealing with injuries since he came into the league,
yeah.
but somehow, even while he was hurt, Ime Doku used him well enough where he looked productive even in the finals, and he was hurt.
yeah, it's no question that at times he does look sus, especially like being a 1v1 defender against Embiid, but as a
Oh,
rim
Embiid was just cooking
yeah,
them. Yeah.
but as a
Um,
as a rim protector, he no doubt makes them a
Should
better
be in the
defense.
game.
Yeah, he no doubt makes them a better defense. Just everything else he cleans up at the rim, and I think you definitely stick with Al Horford on Embiid, even though he didn't have much success last game, but I thought he did a solid job, especially at the end of game 4. That was game 4. But yeah, like Rob Williams, he makes him better defensively. I mean, your offense will struggle, but you got to get
Not
some stops.
even. Not even.
I mean,
I don't agree with that, Destin. This why, right?
no. Okay.
Um, this whole series, PJ Tucker has shot maybe three shots. The whole series, he's been out there literally just playing defense and getting rebounds. That clutch rebound he got and scored the putback in
yeah,
game 3
game 4.
was Robert Williams on the floor?
Nah,
No. That you need a rebounder. You need somebody who could have protected the paint right there. You
yeah,
saying Robert they want to go stretch and they want to have Al Horford shoot. Al Horford shot 6 threes and missed every last one of them.
7. 0 for 7.
Over
he's
7.
off for 7.
Well,
So when are you going to decide? Okay, well we gonna have him play defense on Embiid, and then we can put Rob in to clean the glass and help. Because
Yeah,
after PJ Tucker went and got on Joel Embiid and said, "Man, that man can't guard you," he showed Al Horford, "Man, you can't guard me."
yeah, he
But if
he
you
hit him, hit
put
him with
Rob
that
over
hit him
there
with
with
that tough
help,
fadeaway in overtime. That was tough.
if you
yeah.
put Rob in there for help, it just helps because
Mhm.
now you telling PJ shoot the shot, brother, but he hasn't shot it. So why are you having somebody in there? I mean, why are you having somebody out there who not gonna help you against Embiid? Having Derek White out there helps you against who? Maxi? He was killing Maxi. I mean, Maxi was killing him. Harden was killing Marcus Smart. So I'm like, I don't get that. And
Yeah.
then offensively, he a lob threat. Rob
Yeah.
Williams is a lob threat. So if you
Somewhat.
attacking the lane and you can be a threat at the lob, where you can either put Embiid in foul trouble because he's gonna try to get some of them lobs, or they just crashing at the lobs a little bit more. So your threes that you want to shoot so badly are open. It just I don't get it.
I think that I get as far as offensively because I mean I think the Sixers still could mostly ignore Rob Williams defensively, just like how the Celtics ignore PJ Tucker.
Mhm.
Only the Celtics still do pay PJ Tucker some attention over there when he's in that corner, just because he hasn't been shooting them, but he still can hit them. Like when he gets them, he'll hit, I think he had a game where he hit I think it was 3 or 4 in one of the games. But so he'll have moments where he hits them. He just doesn't take them unless he's wide, butt naked, open. He's probably not going to shoot them. But yeah, I think that the only reason why they don't have Rob out there, apart from them having that earlier success, is because they're gonna have to have another shooter off the court and they like to have like if they have Rob and Horford up the court, then you're gonna have Tatum and Brown and what either
Smart.
Smart, yeah. And so that really like limits their ability to hurt them because I mean like they've been getting off, they've been shooting crazy from three, even though Horford hasn't shot well. Most of the other guys have been shooting well from three. At least there are other role players like Brogdon, Smart, Brown. They've been hitting threes. And so like I think that's probably the concern is like the Celtics can, I mean the Sixers can kind of get away, as far as they can kind of ignore him in a large part, and they do still have Embiid, kind of camping out around the paint area. So I feel like they still would be able to. I think that's the concern. But if you're in Missoula, you might as well try it. You might as well give it. Yeah,
y'all don't think it's a decision that needs to be made, but between Marcus Smart and Derek White? You don't think he needs to at some point make a decision about that?
Wait, so what you mean? Like one of them needs to sit or
in clutch? We seen what it looked like with Marcus Smart in the clutch against the Hawks last series. He cost them almost 2 games in the clutch last series. And to be honest, besides hitting, I think he hit 1 3 when they was making that comeback in game 3 before they went to overtime. But Marcus Smart hasn't really been doing anything. And it seems to me that he has a favor for Derek White. So why not? Again, it begs the question: why not try Derek White at the point with Rob in the game? And you got Malcolm Brogdon now. Like, why not try it? You got 3 different defensive scoring guards, and you won't try them.
I think
it don't make sense.
I think it probably largely depends on what they've been doing that game. Like game 4, Marcus Smart was hitting his threes. Brogdon was playing well. And you gonna close with Tatum and Brown. They are given, and Horford as well. So I think it probably just depends on like the game that they having at the time. And Smart, I guess he has like seniority maybe in a way, just being there, the chemistry. I guess he trusts Smart to a higher degree than he does White. So maybe that could be the case.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I think it's like a chemistry thing. Probably, unfortunately, you kind of gotta like he is a part of that core that they've had, and
unfortunately,
yeah. Sometimes it's good because sometimes he does like he's had moments in this series.
I think it's more good than not for Smart at least.
Yeah. Plus, like he has a lot of clutch flops too that he'd be like, I swear, man. Like he was pissing me off. Like he had like a couple flops in that game, as well as like even last game. But I mean, it didn't really matter last game. But he had like I don't know if you remember. Like he had like I want to say it was in the last couple of minutes. It was like a tie game, and then Smart just like he just fell down. Like he like ran by Peter Tucker and just fell down, and then he got to the free throw line. Hit a couple free throws that were big at that point in the game. But I mean, like he'd be doing stuff like that. Obviously, he does some things that like sometimes he hurts you because like I think he's in that same game 4. I think he had like a unnecessary step back 3 that he missed down the stretch, and so like I mean it's just kind of some of the things you gotta live with. But yeah, I could see him switching up though now because I mean their season's on the line. He might go with Brogdon more down the stretch because it's mostly been Smart over Brogdon. But I feel like Brogdon's better. But yeah, I mean, the only thing though is Brogdon has been getting cooked a lot by Harden in this series. At least in the games that Harden's played well, like he's been. I feel like that's been the primary. Even though Brogdon's a good defender, but he's just the smallest of the bunch. So they've been like forcing switches.
Game 4 for sure.
Yeah, he's been cooking him a lot, and of course Horford. Horford's been getting like crazy amount of switches that they've been going at him with. Like
that's who Harden hit the game winner on in game 1.
And hit the game winner on game 1, but he hit so many shots on him in game 4 as well. I mean, and they just been like running a lot of their offense. And of course, another issue, honestly, is the Celtics just been running a lot of drop coverage, and they've been getting burned. Like they've been running drop coverage like crazy, and they've been paying for it. Like they just been getting like wide open, walk-in 3-pointers, wide open mid-range shots for Embiid. Maxey really hasn't played well most of the series, but he's been getting some good 3-point looks. Unfortunately, like he just like wasn't hitting them until last
He
game.
played well last night.
Yeah,
Last night he was deceased.
last game he was on it. But yeah, he started hitting them. But like they were defending him this like largely the same way they've been defending him the whole series. He got in a rhythm, hit some couple pull ups, hit a step back, and then he was just like driving to the rim, then hitting his floater. Yeah, I feel like last game they really messed up because I feel like they got him in a flow that he possibly could carry over into this next game because they really had him not playing well for most of the series. Like that was his first really good shooting game. He hasn't had a good shooting game. Even in game 1, he put up I think like 20 something, but he didn't really shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
And so like now he's essentially going. They probably got the most surprising game I've seen Tobias Harris ever play in game 5 because he was getting rebounds, he was hustling, he was playing like a dirty work guy. Yeah. He had like multiple offensive rebound putbacks. I ain't never seen him like hustle like that. All.
I think them guys just got a winning rhythm now. You know what I'm saying? Because Tobias Harris played really well in game 1.
Yeah,
and then Tyrese Maxey and Harden kind of, when Embiid came back, they reverted a little bit and they was trying to get Embiid to carry the load, but he wasn't ready yet. And so when they picked up the game, when they picked up their energy, Harden went for that 42. You know what I'm saying? They got it. They got their mojo. Harden had them going. Then Embiid showed up last game, and then all the other guys pitched in. So that's why I say, like, going back to Philly and these guys in this type of rhythm, Jason Tatum gonna have to have one of them Milwaukee game 6 mug.
That's why I text Drew.
Right after the game ended, his man was like game 6 Tatum. But yeah, I mean, I feel like almost it's a must win for both teams. Of course, like saying that, and then of course Philly did win twice in Boston, so it's like, is it really? But I kind of think it is because I feel like this could be a huge momentum shifter if they lose this game. They got to come out
for Boston to lose 3 in Boston.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same situation the Heat had them in?
The Heat
had 1-2 in the Boston, right?
I know the Bucks. Yeah. The Bucks did for sure.
Yeah, the Bucks did, and I think it was the same situation with the Bucks did for sure because it was the Bucks. The Bucks situation was the same as this one currently. Mm-hmm. Although, I think
because the Heat. Well, with the Heat, they
had home court.
They had home court advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bucks did beat them twice in Boston. Yeah, and then they end up winning twice in Milwaukee. But so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm very curious to see how they start the game because they started the game off like specifically who I'm gonna be watching is Tatum, how he starts the game because Tatum hasn't started the last 2 games off well. Like he started off 0 for 6 this last game. Then he started getting it going when they got down. They got down double digits, and then game 4 he started out 0 for 8, I believe. Game 4
0 for 8.
Yeah,
second half he turned up, but you gotta think like.
But in both,
what if he just has like an average first half? You know, like how different could the game have been?
Really, I want to talk about something else on the Celtics because. I was kind of in agreement with you before the series and before the playoffs on Tatum and Brown. I still am, but I'm a little bit different on how I feel about them now.
Okay.
I feel Tatum is the better player still, but I think when I say this, I feel like at his peak or at his best, Tatum is definitely the better player. But I think that Jalen is more likely to play well or be more consistent than Jason is. So I feel like you're more likely to get a good Jaylen Brown than you are to get a great or at his best Jason Tatum. And so in that way, I'm not like it's kind of weird to look at them that way. Like I feel like you're more likely to get Jalen to play well than you are Tatum to play at his best. And so some nights I feel like it's very inconsistent. And I feel like this is even true last year. Like Tatum at his best, clearly better than Jaylen Brown.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Jaylen Brown is more likely to give you good you know, than Jason is. So it's kind of funny how that works. And I feel like in some of these games, it's kind of cost them because some of these games where Jalen has been playing well from the beginning, like he'll come out and drop 10 plus points in the first quarter, and Jason's come out struggling. But then Jason ends up getting most of the shots, and they go away from Jalen to get Jason Tatum in a flow, try to get him going. He starts trying to get his rhythm going. He starts getting it going, but then the dude that started out hot isn't getting any shots down the stretch. He goes like a whole quarter and a half, and like I think like three of the games of the series, he's gone like quarters with just out shooting at all. Like whole fourth quarter doesn't have any shots, or whole third quarter doesn't have any shots. And Tatum is, doubling up on field goal attempts. And, he's getting his points up, but his efficiency isn't as good because he's starting out bad and he's trying to get back in that rhythm. And you got another dude that started hot and he's just kind of on ice. And I feel like they haven't been having a good balance as far as like I feel like that's been a big issue for them. And the Sixers have been, benefiting from that because I think Jaylen Brown has been taking more advantage of his mismatches than Jason Tatum has. Jason Tatum he has the mismatches, but he settles a lot more than Jalen does. Jalen does when he gets a mismatch, you see him like beating dudes to the rim a lot more, getting inside, finishing, and you see Jason Tatum settling a lot more for those long jumpers, not going all the way to the rim, and then later on in the game when shots not falling, now I'm gonna attack. Now I'm gonna put my head down and get to the rim. Now I'm gonna get to the free throw line. But it's like, damn, like you waited a little bit long and now. So you see what I'm trying to say? It's kind of I feel like that's been an issue for them.
Balance. I agree with that because I was saying yesterday, I'm like, I feel like when I look at these players, I see Jason Tatum when he's like a lot of times he plays like way like up here as like a superstar MVP caliber type player, and then some nights he'll have like a really low efficiency game, whereas he'll play way above what he is. In some games he played lower than what he is. Jaylen Brown is more, I'm gonna play every game at this all-star caliber level. Yeah. When so I understand how you look at it when you compare them. I thought Tatum for the better part of this season, he maintained at that level, but then like as the season went on, that's when you saw the fluctuation, and then you see it how evident it is in this series. Julius Randle sucked. I'm watching the game, but in this series, like game 1, Tatum was good. Game 2, in foul trouble, bad game. Game 3, plays great, close out the game.
But see, in game 2 it didn't matter because they blew the brakes off because when he got in foul trouble, Jaylen Brown was able to get going and he actually had a good game, and everybody they just and also that was Embiid's first game.
But like every game, Jaylen Brown, he'll start well. He'll finish the game with like 20, 25, 28 points, something like that. It just and he'll be efficient with it too. So he's been like a model of consistent good, whereas Jason Tatum is inconsistently great. I'll put it like that. So I still understand that, but when I still look at everything they bring to the table, I understand why they still go to Tatum more, why he still takes the most shots, while he has the more playmaking opportunities because he is the better player. He is more skilled. He still brings more to the table. From a production standpoint, the inconsistency still worry me for Tatum, even as a fan of his, and I think it has cost them some in this series. I'm not saying he's the main reason why they've been losing games, but you can't help but think that if he starts off a game better, what the series could have been. So no, that's a fair point right there. Guess we can move on to the you still there, Boogie? Because we gotta talk about our Lakers, man.
I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah, I don't know if you're there. Put him in the background for now. But that's our thoughts on the Sixers. Oh, real quick, predictions, Game 6. What you think happens? Who you think wins?
I think the Sixers closed them out. I said before the Embiid thing, I had originally way before the Embiid thing. I had Celtics losing in 6 to the Sixers. Then when the fourth series started, I was like, if Embiid's going to be out and he's going to miss time and not be able to play, I said Celtics in 6. But that was before Embiid came back, and he's been getting better
Yeah,
literally every game.
yeah.
And
It
so
look like his knee don't
yeah,
even hurt.
yeah, I feel like he at least like 85% good. The only thing I feel like where I notice it is he don't be moving when he's going to the rim offensively. He doesn't move the same. Like he definitely seems like he's still like a little bit tentative when he going to the rim. But his shooting is good. His defense, he be scaring me sometimes because he be like flying, he be blocking shots and flying into the stanchion. But yeah, but they let him get better, and I feel like going back home, he's gonna play well. Harden's in a good rhythm now, and and Maxey just got like unleashed. I feel like he could. I feel like usually what you see is your role players are gonna play well at home. Typically, that's not always going to be the case, but more often than not, carrying that momentum over back home in a closeout game, you expect those guys like Melton, Maxey, even maybe Tobias could be a George Niang game too. Like those guys could be hitting from 3, and I feel like the Celtics are going to be up against it, trying to deal with all those guys potentially being, pretty on off, at least as far as making their shots from, they're going to get the looks, like they're going to get open shots. The big question is, how the Celtics start off the game, and if could they get a big Tatum game in this game? Could Al Horford remember how to shoot threes again? Because he getting up there in age. I mean, like that could be like that was a thing that they've counted on him a lot this year.
Yeah.
Like he's been huge for them, and I could come back to bite them if he ends up not struggling again. Like you counting a lot on a 36-year-old Al Horford. I think he's 36 now. They count more on him for production than the Sixers count on PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, they just count him for hustle, defense, get out there and you yell at somebody and make sure wake somebody up. But like it's mostly hustle, defense, and like maybe occasional offensive rebounds, type stuff like that. But they're not really counting on him for his threes. If he makes some threes, it's like extra. But that's not really what he's out there for. One thing I will say that's funny about the PJ Tucker thing, I just want to say, like, PJ Tucker got to be the only player I could think of, like, in NBA history that like when I'm thinking about it, that like produces so little, but is able to talk to other dudes, like star level players on his team, and like hold them accountable, like talk shit to them. Like he coming out there putting up donuts, and then he like getting in the face.
Probably,
I guess maybe Draymond.
Probably the only person is Udonis Haslem.
But you can't even. Yeah, but can we even count him? He don't even be playing, right?
Yeah, he don't really play, but
technically, Tucker's But think about it. Tucker's out there playing 30 minutes, oftentimes putting up 0 points or like 3 points, right?
Yeah,
and he out here barking at dudes that are superstars, like Joel Embiid, telling him like, "Wake up, man up! You need to be doing this." It's almost funny because like he does that and they listen to him, right? Like they actually respect him.
He has that he has that cachet. I mean, he's a champion. He's a veteran. He's been around the league, so he knows what it takes to win. He knows who he's playing with. So,
but it is funny though, like,
and I think he's probably I think he's a little bit empowered by his coaches to do that too.
Exactly. Like they want him there. Like that's the funny thing. Like remember, Embiid like said he wanted PJ Tucker after last season, like he wanted him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And like and then like of course Harden, they're cool or whatever too. So it's just funny to me, like they actually like they want a player that's going to be like in their face, yelling at them, trying to hold them accountable when he's not really. I mean, in a usual sense, he's not producing points or things like that, or really like anything statistically. Like a lot of times you go look at like PJ Tucker stats, like damn, like it's all just intangibles. You're gonna be looking like damn, like he had
you rebounds in the hustle stats category on NBA.com.
Straight up.
Am I tagged back in, Coach?
Yeah, for sure. I want to know your predictions for Game 6. Who you got?
I'm going with the momentum. I'm rocking with Philly. I had a quick quick thing to say about the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown thing. I
Yeah.
think they suffer from recency biases. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as a duo suffer from recency biases. When when consistently, like you said, Jason Tatum is inconsistently great. All right, we can rock with that. And we see what Jaylen Brown does. He's been consistent at a level, but his
Yeah,
consistent level does not match Jason Tatum's level.
yeah. I
And
said, yeah, I said Brown's been consistently good. Tatum's been inconsistently
it's
great.
inconsistently great.
Mhm.
And see, the way that shows in the playoffs is you can't have them two guys doing the same thing. And I think that is the issue. Those two guys, Jason Tatum, right, is their go-to guy when it's time to score. So what is Jaylen Brown there for? Jaylen Brown's supposed to be there to do a lot of the other things. He can score. I think he's a good playmaker. He's a way better playmaker than Jason Tatum. Because whenever time they
Whoa,
try to make Jason Tatum
Wait,
play
wait, wait,
make,
wait, wait, wait. Say that again.
wait, what?
I think Jaylen Brown is
Hold
a
up.
better listen. I think Jaylen Brown is a better playmaker than Jason Tatum.
I
Nah, man,
I had to put you on the bench for a second,
you tripping
man.
right now.
Look, don't
Wait,
get me
wait.
wrong. I'm a
Hey, come
JT
again?
guy.
I need you to explain this.
I'm
You
a
tripping right
JT
now.
guy. But I say this because whenever it's on Jason Tatum, like I feel like Jason Tatum make more plays because the defenses are focusing on him. But I think they should try to run the offenses as with Jaylen Brown being a playmaker because he can score and he should be able to make more plays because the onus is on Jason Tatum. Is that going to work? I don't know, but I think they should go that way because Jason Tatum is their go-to guy. And like we want to talk about Jason Tatum being in foul trouble. Jason Tatum be having them off games when he start off 0 for 7, 0 for 8. Those are the moments where Jaylen Brown's supposed to pick up because he is supposed to be more consistent, right? But no, last game he had four. I remember in the third quarter he had 4 fouls. He had just fouled freaking James Harden on 3-point play. And how many points did he have at the time? 7. He's struggling, and the guy they have out there still trying to fight and bring it all together is Jason Tatum. The game where they was getting blown out and before they went to overtime, they the person who brought them back in that game, Jason Tatum. He had struggled the whole first half,
Yeah.
and then he brought him back in.
I thought he was great in the second half. Not only his scoring, but his defense. He was like snagging rebounds. Like I thought he was a beast in that second half.
And if you watch Jason Tatum in college, that's almost his MO. That's really what got his name out. He'll go the whole first half of
Yeah.
games, him and Luke Kennard, and not score. At the end of the second half, they end up with 30.
Yeah.
So it's like,
He'll turn up.
you know what I'm saying? We don't want that. We don't want to see that, but we know how that goes. So you want Jason Tatum to go from being a guy who just brought us all the way back into the game and then start being back to deferring to Jaylen Brown? Because everybody was asking the question, why didn't Jaylen Brown shoot in the fourth quarter? Why do you only have 3 shots in overtime?
I mean, it's because they had Jason Tatum was getting it going, and they had Jaylen Brown sitting in the corner off ball.
Yeah.
I don't think they have
watching.
him doing that. I feel like they got to figure out how to run some action with the two of them.
Well, I think that's a good idea. But because when I was watching the game, Jaylen Brown he made a few moves. Like he made a it was a play when Jason Tatum had the ball at the top of the key. Jaylen Brown had Harden guarding him. He made a pass. He made a nice move on Harden. Defense had to help. He made the pass to Marcus Smart. Another play, I think he drove on Harden. He scored, and another play he hit a 3 to Jaylen Brown. So he had some looks, but when it was other players, when it was PJ guarding him, or when it was Melton guarding him, Brown was kind of struggling with his handle. Like he was getting ripped by DeAnthony Melton. PJ was making him second guess when he got into the lane when he was trying to shoot his mid range. He was kind of making him second guess. So that's why they started going back to
See,
Tatum.
that right there is I can understand why y'all laughed when I say he should be a better playmaker than Jason Tatum because his handle is like it's not the best. I don't think Jaylen Brown got the best handles, but I think he has a good IQ and vision. I just don't think he uses it, or they don't utilize it. But
I
that's
think it's
enough of that.
I
That's
hear
enough
you,
of
but I
that. I
think
think they
it's too late in
did.
the game. Like I think it's too late in the game for him to like, hey, we gonna try and run you as the
Experiment.
primary playmaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to do it next year, some, or he gonna be
honestly,
gone.
honestly, they should be letting Derek White out there kind of run some more because he's probably the better playmaker of the three. Honestly, like as far as just like
Even when
passing.
Marcus Smart be making mistakes.
Yeah,
Like that he tried to do that little shovel pass to Tatum
Yes, to
and lost it on
nobody.
the game.
Yeah,
Like
but
you supposed to be
yeah,
looking for JB and JT. Like you ran straight into Harden trying to give it to JB. I mean JT now is out of bounds. Where was JB on that play?
yeah.
Where's Jalen?
I do agree with you on like them. One of the things that could make it difficult is that they both are like similar skill set. Like they're very similar, like offensive skill set. They're very similar, and so
Facts.
like it's not as easy to like complement each other. Like Harden and Embiid, like of course, big and like a versatile center. Like they could, a versatile center and a guard, playmaking guard. They could run pick and roll all day, and they could play off each other. They could all shoot at all three levels. They could all like, it's easy. Same thing with like LeBron and AD. Like
Yeah.
they can play. They can play off each other very well. Jokic and Jamal Murray, they can play off each other really well.
People might
But
not like it. People might not like it, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are a better version or what they thought Paul George and Kawhi was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean,
Two dudes.
I feel like that's a big reason of Paul George and Kawhi. That's just due to injuries, because when they together, they a contender. Like I don't even like the Clippers and none of that, but they a contender team. But I think a
Would you
big
think
part of
they'd be more productive than the JT and Jaylen Brown duo?
I mean, it's
it's
hard to tell.
yeah, because
It's
yeah,
hypothetical, but
it's hard to say because they just never
but
have to.
I definitely, because when I've seen them together, um, I mean they did lose. They did chuck that one time in the first round.
But,
I mean in the second round versus the Nuggets. But the other time we seen them healthy, they made the conference finals. So then, but other than that, been injuries like every time, like the year they made the conference finals, Kawhi got hurt, so he wasn't able to play in the conference finals. Last year, Kawhi was hurt the whole season. PG got COVID. This year, PG was hurt, then Kawhi got hurt. So, I mean, I'm just assuming, given the fact that how Kawhi turns up in the playoffs, the type of caliber player Paul George is, they're very comparable as a duo when they're both right. But I have to lean with Jason Tatum and Brown just because they're younger, they've been more available, and they had more success. So I'll lean with them, but
they
yeah,
went to the conference finals as Jason Tatum was a rookie.
yeah, they've been to the conference finals, I believe. What three
Three
times?
times?
They made it in
Yeah,
2018.
yeah,
They made it in 2020,
And last year.
and then last year. Yeah.
yeah. 2020.
My prediction for this game. I'm trying to see.
Stick to it. I know you got the Celtics coming back. It's all right.
No. I haven't, and because man,
They did it before last year. They gonna do it
yeah,
again.
they did it. They did it last year. This game
There you
picked
go
up
with they did it last year. Still sound like a warrior.
yeah, but this year I think I'm gonna pick Philly. The main reason is because the level in well, it's an echo or something. I think you got an echo,
you good?
but
You good
oh,
now?
he good.
I think it went,
Okay,
away.
yeah, but I think the level Embiid is playing at, because the main question was Embiid for me personally, because
Yeah,
Harden, I mean, he's had like his up and down games in this series, but I think he had like three really good games. Maxey, same up and down, but Embiid's ability to dominate has been crucial, especially on defense. That's been important for them. I think going back home, Game 6, the fact that Embiid he's never got out the second round. And each time it's been something, it's been an injury or it's been Ben Simmons or some BS like that. I think it's not really the Celtics. I'm more favoring what Philly can do in this game. What's at stake for them? Like their whole demeanor, especially Harden after he had that big game in game one. He said, "Hey, it's just one game." Like that shows that they really want this. And not saying the Celtics don't want it, but it seems like Philly wants it more, especially the fact that they held on in game 4. They came out in Boston Garden yesterday and played that well. That was a very impressive performance, like all around from all they big time players, Harden, Maxey, Tobias, Embiid, Doc coaching well, Daniel House was out there.
Yeah, I was even gonna say that. Like, Doc Rivers to me, he found the one coach that he could outcoach that's still in the playoffs, straight up.
Yeah.
Like he found the one.
And Doc Rivers, I gotta praise him because I get on his ass as a coach, but I gotta give him his flowers.
I did not expect him to just pull Daniel House out of nowhere and throw him out there. This man, Daniel House ain't played in I don't know how many games.
Because it wasn't
he a Houston nigga. He always ready.
Yo, no bullshit.
As soon as he threw him out there, this man would just run down the court, just full speed, just catching and finishing.
Wasn't him and Harden in the short roll, and he was laying it. I was like, oh,
he was making great decisions too. He was pushing it, finishing on the break. He had that play to Max when he hit the steal as well.
I was like, damn, where this come from? But yeah, I was super impressed by Philly yesterday, and like Boogie said, man, I'm rolled with the high hand. I do expect Tatum to have a better game. I hope he does. Just being a fan of his, I like to see him hoop, but I don't want to see him win the championship with the Celtics anyway. So until he comes to the Lakers, of course.
Facts.
But yeah, that's what I'm rocking with. I'm rocking with Philly.
Hey,
close it out.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When was the last time Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both had good games at the same time?
I say game 1.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost that though because Harden went crazy. But
okay, I was just wondering.
I will say this:
game 3 Brown was kind of in foul trouble, but I thought.
If there's anything in the bank on for the Celtics, is that Jason Tatum really hasn't had a game where he's been the best player on the floor.
True.
If you go look at the other games of the series, it's either been Jaylen.
You don't think he was the best game 3?
They lost.
No. They won game 3. They won game 3, but I think that Joel was the best player that game. I think Joel was the best player.
Yeah,
Joel was playing really well that game.
Yeah, I think that's arguable. I thought I'll just look at how Tatum kind of he was kind of clutch in that game.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
But I would say Joel.
Yeah, that would be the one game that you can make the argument because they did win the game and he had a couple clutch shots down the stretch. Mm-hmm. But it's been I would say that's probably the only game that you could probably say that. Every other game it's been somebody else clearly. And so he's due for and that game was he had a good game, but I don't think he what do you have probably 25 or 26 something like that. I don't know what he had that game.
Which one?
I don't think he would game 3. I
think he had 27.
Yeah, so he had a good game, but it wasn't anything crazy what we've seen him able to and honestly, because we already know if it wasn't for Harden, this is a sweep straight up. If it wasn't for Harden, they literally this is a sweep.
Literally, because he had to drop 40 and I don't remember Harden dropping 40 with Embiid on the court this season. Maybe I'm wrong, Drew. You can
no, he hasn't. He hasn't. Which is funny to me. He had his career. He had both his career highs as a Sixer in the playoffs because he hasn't dropped 40 as a Sixer at all, and he dropped 45 and 42.
I wish we could get Dub on here, man. I want to see what he got to say about.
Man, he been hiding, man. You saw me message that thing. I'm like, hey, do an open gym. He didn't do an open gym, and then I know that they're probably gonna do an open gym tomorrow. And I saw this man. He got on the panel for a short amount of time. I just want to see what he's gonna say, and he was like, Celtics gonna come back and they're gonna win in 7. And he's like, he
gonna wait until it goes to a game 7 or something like that.
Yeah, and he said that he's like, man, he was making all the all the he was basically just saying like the Celtics just lost because they fell in love with the three ball too much. They be shooting too many threes. Nah. It's been way more. It's way more than that. But he was just making it like that's the reason why they lost. They just been taking too many
Give
threes. They
credit
were forcing. Yeah,
give credit to Harden because
yeah,
I'm one. I'll criticize you, but if you playing well, I'm gonna give you your credit.
yeah.
Don't
He's wet.
change.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I need the Sixers to win this game 6 because I know this man. He just waiting. He's
yeah,
waiting for like. But yeah, nah. You already know. You know what his narrative is going to be. So
yeah.
he's pretty much been banking on this. He's banking on the Celtics to go. I think he had them going to he might have them win the championship. I know he had
Yeah,
them going to the finals.
yeah, I know you had to go to the finals.
But yeah.
All right, so
It's time.
it's time we talk
Them boys.
them boys.
Will they close it out tonight?
Hold on. I gotta hold on. Where is it?
What did I just do?
I like this one. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. How I do this? So we got to talk about the Lakers. They
making me look good.
man, they making me look great. So I honestly I didn't. No. I did expect them to go up 3-1. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you, just because of how good the oh you got me in the big screen. Yeah, let me talk about my Lakers. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't expect it to be like this. But that game 4 was insane. I honestly thought we were outplayed in that game, especially like on my rewatch. Golden State was they was getting some good looks, but I think we stayed persistent. Every time they made a run, we made a run, particularly that big run in the fourth quarter. Lonnie Walker, the fourth man. No, this been in him. Like he was basically our third best player before the trades and everything. I mean, I know
And
he
then
suffered.
start catching DMPs.
Yeah, he suffered a injury, and he came back. He was kind of inconsistent, especially defensively. And Coach Ham, if you're not playing defense, he probably not gonna really put you on the court. And once we made the Westbrook trade, we brought in more shooting with Beasley, and Beasley, he's been a more I think Beasley he makes more money. He got to earn his check. He's been around the league a little bit more, and you want to see what he can bring to the starting lineup. And Beasley, he started off playing well, but he had a lot of inconsistent times. All he
Clinks.
was a shooter, and he got benched for Austin Reeves, who has been an amazing swap out. But Beasley was still getting those minutes. Lonnie Walker was on the back end catching DMPs, only coming in every so often, and some of those times were just I think it's you got an echo. Oh, I think it's gone. Yeah, but some of those times were garbage time minutes from a guy who was starting, giving you efficient points, shooting well from the field, playing well to now get catching DMPs. And he had his playoff moment the other game, and I couldn't be more proud for him watching him as a Spur coming in this season and just staying ready. He didn't complain. He always supported his teammates. They started playing him in game 3. He actually came off the bench. It was Troy Brown was starting. Oh, Troy Brown was coming off the bench ahead of him. But then they took out Troy Brown and they started bringing in Lonnie Walker in game 3. He gave us good minutes. I think he's athletic enough to guard this team. He's great in transition, shoots the ball really well. So I think this is a good team to have him play against. And he played pretty good in game 3. And I was excited to see him on the court. We got the blowout win. But this game 4, and I listened to Laker Film Room podcast. They titled their their podcast for this last game as Game IV. and that's Roman numeral 4 because Lonnie Walker is Lonnie Walker the fourth, and they were praising him heavily, and they're giving him his flowers, rightfully so, because this dude was out there, taking advantage of the opportunity that he was given. I mean, they was running pick and rolls with not pick and rolls, but kind of like switching him with Bron and Steph. Sometimes they don't want to switch it, and they left Lonnie open for an open three, or they had him as the primary ball handler in the screen with LeBron, and that freed him open for jumpers. Um, he was going at Steph 1-on-1. I thought Steph's defense was okay, actually. I don't think he was just Steph just couldn't play defense, but he was out there just 15 points off the bench in the fourth quarter. That was insane, and that's a huge reason why we won the game. I thought we actually kind of got outplayed by the Warriors. I ain't gonna lie, but our defense was really good at the end of that game. I like the adjustment that they did when they put Anthony Davis on Wiggins instead of Anthony Davis on Draymond or Anthony Davis on Gary Payton, because when you do that, that leaves two good passers and two good playmakers in that short role. But when you do it with Wiggins, it's a different dynamic, because he isn't that isn't his style of game. He's not a great passer, somebody who's gonna make he's not a good decision maker. Gary Payton, ever since he was, even before he was in the NBA and in the G League or whatever, or when he was on the Lakers the first time, he's a good passer. He's not a good shooter, but that's why you want to run that pick and roll. And now the adjustment with putting AD on Wiggins, that limit that pick and roll that was working for them so much in the first quarter. I mean, the first half, they ran that pick and roll so much.
That was killing for a minute. I think they should have. Honestly, I still would have tried it with Wiggins just to see.
They ran it a few times, but it wasn't really that effective.
Yeah.
But I think what they may do now, they may do it with LeBron instead, and have LeBron be the guy that they run the screen and roll at, and then have AD probably help off Wiggins or something like that. So that may be the objective, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited for this game 5. I really hope we win. I know everybody picking the Warriors, rightfully so. It's a great team. They at home. They missed some shots last game. I feel like they may make this game. They're gonna have they shooters. The crowd gonna be there, and it's perfectly reasonable to pick them to win this game. But I'm not. The Lakers need to take care of business. Learn from the Memphis series. LeBron, he wasn't good in Game 5 in that game. I thought some of his adjustments wasn't good in that game. I think that cost us. Versus Memphis, you got to learn from your mistakes. You don't want to get his team life. They didn't came down from
3-1.
Yeah, they didn't came back from 3-1 in the past. They've been on both sides of 3-1 comebacks in their whole dynasty run. And they know how to win. They know how to execute. So you don't want to get his team life. I want to go for the kill. It's gonna be hard. It's probably gonna be the toughest game that they play this season. But I think Lakers should pull this one out, man. I hope we do.
They definitely gonna pull it off if Clay keeps taking some of these dumbass shots he was taking. Unless he hits them, of course. But man, he was wilding with some of those shots. Did you even see the clip where he was pulling up for that one in the wing and you see Steve Kerr's face?
Yes.
Steve Kerr's like, wait, what?
Steve Kerr and Draymond. Steve Kerr and Draymond was like,
man. And then honestly, I know he's not gonna really get killed for it, but that shot by Curry on AD was dumb as hell. I didn't understand what he was doing.
The second,
I know Curry. Yeah, I understand. He can make tough shots, but it didn't even seem like it had a chance from the moment he shot it. He shot it so weird. He just threw that shit up. He was off balance. He was deep. He just, as soon as he caught, just threw that shit up immediately. It didn't seem like it had a chance. I mean, of course, if it went in, but that's not even the shots that Curry does make when he's hitting or he's on. It's not shots like that. He was just out of desperation for no reason. he could have got a like better look or tried to like dribble it out or do something. I don't understand why he shot that. But yeah, we're gonna see how they respond tonight. Back in back at home.
What you think, Boogie? What you think we're doing tonight, man?
Man, the Warriors gotta earn my respect. I said it from the jump. I had us in 5. Why?
Damn, what?
I said it on
Bro,
y'all
hey,
podcast.
Andrew, I said 6.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had us in 5 because nothing has changed about the Golden State Warriors from all season, except that they brought Andrew Wiggins back. But when they brought Andrew Wiggins back, guess who they lost? Jordan Poole. Where has he been? The worst thing that possibly happened to the Warriors.
I'm not even putting that on Wiggins though. Like Poole just been,
look.
Poole been up and down pretty much.
The worst thing that happened to the Warriors this series, though, if we want to be honest, is Kevon Looney getting sick. That cost them because it cost them a little bit.
AD was
offense because you gotta remember he was getting them boards. Yeah, AD was killing them, but when he was grabbing them boards, they hard to beat because they be just especially him. He tossing it out, and one of them guys is firing it up, and that's 3 more 3-pointers they shot in one in that one possession than what they have been getting with him sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish your point. I just want to say, I guess it's certain things you'll rather live with, because I feel like having Looney, and Looney, he's a good player. I'm not saying none of that, but in a matchup with AD, those offensive rebounds opportunities, even though he's a good offensive rebounder, it's not gonna be as prevalent. Also, he's kind of hurting you both ends, except if he's not getting rebounds, because he's making it easier for them to top lock on the screens. If you're doing the pick and roll, it's easy for AD to kind of play both because of how of a role man Looney is, and how effective AD is defensively guarding that pick and roll, other than guarding Steph Curry and Gary Payton pick and roll. So I don't know. I feel like just simply with the matchup with AD, I don't think it's a good matchup to have Looney play that big of minutes. But not saying Looney isn't a good player, because he is a really good role player. But
let me go further into my point. Right, this is why I say him getting sick is the worst thing that happened for them, because him getting sick forced their hand. They couldn't even try Looney for a full game in game 2. You see what I'm saying? Him being sick has knocked his minutes. So he's getting 6 minutes. I think the most minutes he really played since the first game is probably 10, 12. He's not really getting that many minutes. So, yes, we expect AD to kill Looney. But I feel like they was forced to switch that lineup early. And then since they switching their lineup every game. You know what I'm saying? Now I feel like we trying to figure it out. They scrambling. And let them scramble. I don't care. Because Steph Curry, we've shown all series, that man not gonna beat us by himself.
Yep.
Somebody better show up. He went for a 25 and 13 assist game. He went for a triple-double game. They had 21 made 3-pointers on us. What else are they gonna do to beat us at this point? We've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, they done made like 3 different lineup changes.
Gary Payton had a go-off game.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that I can see could happen and to really be a danger for us if Draymond Green become offensively sound all of a sudden. If he go back to doing all them cuts and fake handoffs and going scoring in the lane
and all that,
that makes them a little bit more dangerous than what we getting. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even if Clay get hot tonight, right? I don't think that's enough. Because a lot of people was making a big thing about AD in the second half of last game. But my thing is, That's I feel like Darvin Ham, LeBron, Phil Handy must have told that man, get in position to rebound offensively, but we want you to extend all your effort on defense. Because Bron didn't even look at him for offensive possessions in that second half. Bron was hunting Steph
Yeah,
all third quarter.
yeah, in the fourth, really.
And in the fourth, he hunted
Mhm.
him. And then he said,
Yeah.
Lonnie, you get him.
And I think that's a big thing because as great as a offensive threat Curry is, probably the biggest in the league. Make him work defensively every single time down the court. You make him work defensively every single time down the court. Is it'll tire his legs out. So when he
He
gets the
was
ball
3
on
for
offense,
14 from three.
yeah. So in Curry, he's the best shooter in NBA history. But you got him working every single time down the court. That is gonna affect that's gonna affect him when he gets on offense. So I think that's a good strategy by Ham and LeBron
Look,
that they
they
did.
put up some stats today on NBA Today. They say in this series alone, Steph has the most dribbles he's had in a series under Steve Kerr. He's had
Huh.
the most. He's had the
Most
most.
dribbles.
The most dribbles, like 590 some dribbles, he had this series. They said this is the most times that Curry has taken the ball up the court.
Yeah, because that's not really the Warrior system, and I think some of that has affected Clay because when you watch the Warrior system, there just is movement, it's off ball, it's cutting, it's Draymond kind of being the being like the point forward, and Clay coming off screens hitting threes, Curry hitting threes, but the Lakers really took that away. Um, and after the first two games, so they hey, that stat is crazy because it's so specific. It says 45 seconds. Like that's pretty insane. But yeah, I think that kind of has hurt Clay's production in a way because last game he wasn't really getting a lot of shots. It was mainly Curry pick and roll, and it was either him taking a shot or Gary Payton or Draymond taking a shot or dishing like underneath for a layup or something like that. But they wasn't running a normal offense, and Clay was just kind of being hugged on, and whoever's guarding Clay probably was Austin Reeves or something. Um, he wasn't really doing much on them. And then when they got to the fourth quarter and the third quarter, they kind of got away from that and they tried to go back to that. Clay, he wasn't really in rhythm. He was missing shots. You seen him pulling those dumb shots. I don't know, maybe he was frustrated not getting many shots up or he was just out of rhythm. So I'm not sure, but I think that has affected Clay in a way. So what's your thoughts on this series, Drew? And your predictions tonight.
I think that the Warriors are going to win tonight. I originally picked them as 7.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about them doing a 3-1 comeback. I don't like what I've been seeing from Curry. Clay, I don't know if he has one of those. I feel like for them to do that, he has to have one of those type of games, like one of those game 6 quote unquote type games later on, or maybe even tonight.
Like the game 7 versus Sacramento last series.
Right, like yeah, but yeah, I guess that was. I guess you could say that was kind of one of those. Well, no, not really. It was a good game though.
What you mean? You dropped 50.
Oh no, I meant Clay.
Oh, Clay. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Clay. I mean like a game 6 Clay type thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I feel like that the Warriors are going to win tonight, but then most likely I'm think that the Lakers are going to close it out in game 6. Just because what's really been surprising is that LeBron really hasn't played consistently well throughout this series, but it's been somebody different each night that stepped up. And to me, that's a really bad sign for the Warriors is that there's been so many different
Bad sound
guys.
for the league.
That's the same thing for Memphis had to deal with. It was a different guy every game.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I hope, right? I hope that we are a team that learns, right? And we went, like Destin said, we went and lost that game in Memphis when we were supposed to close it out.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron is preaching to these guys. don't give them no hope. Don't cut them no slack. So I feel like we're going to go into this game with the right mentality. And it's going to be another boxing match. Last game, they came out swinging on us. We swung back and swing some more until, we came out on top. I think we got to have another one of them type games tonight. But I think we got to try to dominate the entirety of it because they are at home. And if we don't, we're going to give some of them guys who don't need to get any type of confidence. And my biggest question mark, right, is this. With all the rumors that's going on with Jordan Poole, how many minutes he actually going to play tonight? He played 10 last night. They don't play him, they definitely dead. I don't care what nobody say. He has to play and he has to produce. But more importantly, he's more scary being on the court versus not being on the court because we're not scared of Moses Moody. They won't play Jonathan Kuminga. We're not scared of Gary Payton II. JaMychal Green not getting back out there. He didn't play at all last game.
You see that? You see this screen?
Yeah, how much money you making? He better play like it. He can't get 10 minutes in the playoffs, bro. You making that much money.
Look at everybody else on the list though. What is the most egregious ones apart from Poole? To me, it's probably. I mean,
I think Michael Porter's is egregious too.
Yeah,
and I think I would love to have a Michael Porter type player on my team, but all he is really just a elite spot up
sniper.
shooter.
Yeah,
Spot up shooter. But what is this year? 3, 4?
I'm trying to see. I guess this is
he
year.
actually played.
I think it's year. It's probably year 4. I think it's year 4.
Maybe I know he missed like the whole season last year.
He missed his whole rookie season too, didn't he?
Yeah. They drafted him. He didn't even play, so I'm unsure, honestly.
Oh, you mean like year he's played or year he's been in the league? Because I think
he's been in the year like 5 years, but he's played 3.
Yeah. I think it's year 3 then. Yeah.
For that amount of money, I'm not mad at it. I think he's gonna be worth it, especially if he can help them keep getting past like this. You know what? He's gonna be his money maker, and he's gonna determine if he's worth it or not. Once they get past the Suns, how he produced in that next round.
I mean, he was playing good yesterday.
Nah, I seen he had 4 threes or something like that, huh?
Yeah,
he a hooper for sure.
He's just
for that amount of money,
knockdown shooter. Like, I mean, he can rebound. He can play a little bit of defense. He doesn't really do much else. He doesn't pass. Like I texted Drew yesterday. I was like, bro, like this dude, he ain't never met a shot he ain't like.
And he got KCP on his team.
Yeah, man. I wish, man, KCP, dog. I wish we still had KCP, bro. We traded him for Westbrook, bro. Dang.
What's crazy about that Poole contract is it hasn't even started yet. It starts next year, and it's like 5 years start next year, and it's gonna be. And it's more than look at the guys that's more than like Jaren Jackson, Jalen Brunson.
Chances are he won't even be on that team when he kicks in.
You think he gonna get traded?
Come on now.
I saw one of the dumbest trades. You see that fool? What's it? Colin Cowherd. You saw that crap?
Yeah.
Oh my god, man, this man's a clown. He was like the Celtics should trade Jaylen Brown because it's not working out, and they need to find a better pieces that can fit more alongside Tatum that are true, like, supporting pieces, whatever. And he's like, should trade him to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole.
and the whole time he's the main one that said Jordan Poole was not good. Like he was saying that like in the Sacramento series, he was saying, "Oh, Jordan Poole, he's not a good basketball player." Like he kept saying that shit. All of a sudden, he wear Jaylen Brown. Like, man, get out of here, bro. And Malcolm Brogdon. Like, I feel like,
oh yeah, he threw Brogdon.
They argue.
Wow.
I feel like Boston arguably giving up the best 2 players in the trade.
Man,
like, nah.
Hey, I'm finna go and hop off here, fellas. I hope next time we get on the talk, we'll be previewing the Lakers' next matchup because this got to end tonight.
Yeah, it got to.
I'm
gonna see you. I'm gonna see you on Twitter later, brother.
For sure.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, cool. So, can move on to this next and final topic. The I've been waiting to get off my chest, and that's how
These all NBA
egregious
team.
some of these All NBA, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All Defense. Some of this shit is ridiculous, and I appreciate you pulling it up, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see, that's the All Defensive first team. Wait, put it back the other way. Yeah, that's better. So that's the first team. So for the guards, you have Shea, Luca, um forwards, Tatum and Giannis, and then center you have Embiid. I have no problem with the front court. The front court to me, perfect, honestly. My problem is the lack of consistency with some of these players making all NBA, like Shea and Luca. Here's my problem. Not saying that they are worse players than the players who made second and third or didn't even make it. But there was a standard, it was a requirement that a player has to make the playoffs to be even considered a first team all NBA player. So basically you setting a standard where if you can make all NBA by missing the
White
playoffs,
privilege.
bro, you can make the all NBA by missing the playoffs. Can you win MVP by missing the playoffs? Now? Can you win defensive player of the year if you miss the playoffs now? Like is that the standard we set? Like I don't know.
There's
Like it
there's
don't make sense. And my thing is though, when I look back in history, because I look at I still do look at basketball history a lot, but now my I had to change my view of things because when I see a player has made all NBA, first team all NBA, I'm thinking you were the best at your position that season. That's how I used to look at it. But now some of it is just so biased. The media will decide who deserves to make it, and a lot of times it isn't basketball related. Like not saying Shea was better. No, not saying Ja was better than Shea this season, or not saying Luca was better than no, not saying Ja was better than Luca or Ja was better than Shea, but Ja made the playoffs, and he isn't on any of the first, second, or third teams. And I think a lot of that has to do with politics. I think the
yep.
fact that thing that Instagram live video he had when he had the gun and everything, that played a major role in the fact and of him missing on these all NBA teams. You know what missing on some of these all NBA and all defensive teams does? It affects your pockets. Because Ja,
Yep.
he signed a max contract last season, and he had if this season he made the all NBA team, he would have added a big bonus to his contract. He would have made a lot more money. Now instead, he misses the team because some of these voters just didn't want to vote for him. Not because of on the court, not because of consistency and voting throughout the years. It's because of certain narrative they want to paint. So, and I think that's just unfair. Um, a proper way to analyze players in history, in this league, just don't go by all NBA or all defense. You have to go back and watch. I mean, it's an honor for these players. Congratulations, not taking nothing away from them, but um,
You really
yeah,
got to argue year by
it
year
it, it
some of
doesn't.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but all NBA, all defense, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Here's my
So,
biggest. Here's my here. I'm about to get this is about to get on my Harden agenda real quick
oh yeah,
because
go ahead.
I might even talking about this year. Like I don't care if like he made it or not this year. I think I think he should have been like a third team, but it don't matter. Forget
Mhm.
that. This is my issue with the first team thing in regards to this. So Luca made it as the first team guard.
Mhm.
Shea made it too, right? Both those to me are problematic. But but the reason why I'm pointing out Luca is because I don't know if you remember this or not. In 2016, the media left Harden off all the NBA teams. It was the 1 year in his prime that he didn't make a single All NBA team,
And
and everyone and it was
they was the A seed.
they were the 8th seed, and everyone was like it was like one of the historically big snubs because statistically he had a ridiculous season, right? Like his numbers were really good, but the team underperformed. We ended up making it as the A seed, all right? And all of the media they pointed out. You could name all the dudes you want, Bill Simmons to Zach Lowe, all these guys. They were like, "Oh, we value winning," and the Rockies they didn't live up to expectations this year, and a large part of that was Harden. They're saying like a part of it to me was Dwight as well, but the roster, whatever, a lot of guys didn't play up to par, but they made that they basically said they were punishing Harden because they left him off the All NBAs because they were 8 seed. Everybody else that made it on the All NBAs were higher seeds, and they were all guys that made the playoffs.
Yeah,
but they even had. My issue was they had Klay Thompson and they had Kyle Lowry that year make it over Harden. There's no way in hell Klay Thompson or Kyle Lowry were better players in 2016 than James Harden. They just weren't. They weren't better players. Not even a question, right? But they were on teams with better records, all right? And if we look at Luka right now, Luka didn't even make the play-in, so he didn't even make it to the 10 seed, right? And
yeah,
he's
they
first
didn't
team.
He didn't make the play in. How you?
He didn't even make the play in. He didn't make the play in, and here's the thing. I would be like, okay, if we're gonna give him third team, I would still disagree with it because of that. But I'd be like, you know what? Okay, third team. You know what? Yeah. Maybe. But they gave him first team All NBA. Didn't even make the play-in. And any of these dudes, and they write their articles and they talk about why they have him as the first team, they aren't even going to be like, oh man, like they're not going to say anything about him missing the playoffs. Like, oh my God, he had an amazing season. Look how statistically great he was. All this stuff they're going to say, right? But they didn't have that same energy when Harden didn't make a single All NBA team in 2016, right? That right there to me is what I'm talking about, and it's why. And we can talk about it with somebody like Shea too, because Shea also didn't, but like Shea had a breakout year. I understand him making a team, but yeah, it's just ridiculous to me. But man,
yeah, I think that's my thing. It's a lack of consistency, and I got to hear from like NBA media and fans that, oh well, this guy he made All NBA, so he's better or something like that. I'm like, man, you tripping, because it's no way that it's like how you miss the playoffs and you make first team All NBA. Like, Drew, I'm see if you know who was the last player to miss the playoffs that made first team All NBA.
who was the last dude?
Yeah,
To miss the playoffs and make first team All NBA. Did they give it to LeBron? Maybe LeBron.
nah, not LeBron.
No?
I think LeBron had made second or third, but he didn't. He didn't make first. Rightfully so.
Missed the playoffs and make all first team All NBA. Curry.
Nope.
No?
No.
So even Curry they didn't give it to in that year where they got beaten the play-in. No?
Wait. Did he?
20 I mean, I'm asking.
It was 21, huh?
Just 2021.
Oh, you right.
Did he?
Yeah. He did make it. But
at least he made the play-in though.
He was an A seed at least.
Yeah.
He
technically he made he had an A seed.
Yeah, he was there. But like I'm talking about like firmly like missed it before like the play-in, something like that. The last one when I'm looking back, it was Anthony Davis in 2017. He made first team All NBA. and the Pelicans missed the playoffs that season. And everybody knows AD is a first team caliber guy, but I don't know. I just feel like that's I don't know. I don't. I'm not a huge fan of that. Because and then sometimes you don't even keep the same energy because how, like you said in 2016, Harden didn't even make none of the teams, and he made the playoffs. He was an AC, but he got in there, and I don't know. I think it's a big thing, and I don't think people really talk about it enough because it affects these players' pockets. Like Clay, he didn't make it one year, and Kemba Walker made it, and that affected how much money he was going to get paid that
Yep,
summer.
I remember
And
that as well.
that's a big thing for Ja this season. Ja, he isn't going to get paid. He isn't going to get super max. But now, Jaylen Brown, he's eligible. Congrats to him. He should get a $300 million contract. Same with Tatum. So, you know, some of these awards, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, it's all narrative based. Not saying these players don't deserve it because I think, like we talked about it earlier, it could have went to Embiid, it could have went to Giannis or Jokic, but the voting, how I seen the voting, it was like 73 first place votes for Embiid. I think I don't know. That was pretty inaccurate to me. If the race felt a lot closer than that, but a lot of people just didn't want to give it to Jokic because of the fact that he won 2 years in a row, and that's narrative based. It's not really based on actual basketball because for the better part of the season, Jokic was the leader for the MVP. So I don't understand how he loses that many votes because it's just because people don't want to see him win, not because of actual play on the court. So
Yeah. One thing I
that's
will
my
say
thing.
is that at least it's kind of a double edged sword. I mean, in a way that going forward, like in the future, it's going to be the top 15 players basically because it's going to be positionless.
Mhm.
So we're going to have more guys that are more deserving make it in reality, but
Mhm.
then also it's going to kind of in a way it'll kind of mess with the history on it a little bit because there will be guys that like had to make it as basically being the best of their position. Now they're going to be able to make it, regardless of being the best of their position. But but you're going to eliminate guys that just making it over guys that they're clearly not better than. Like look at the third team right now. I think most people would be like Julius Randle is not an All NBA player. I think damn near everybody would agree.
Bro,
This fool
it's
Julius
probably
is not.
a hand, like maybe I ain't gonna lie, it's probably 10 players I put over Julius Randle right now in the All NBA, and I don't even think, although LeBron was having a great season before, I think he tore his tendon. I would have been fine if LeBron didn't make it either. But I mean, I guess you can say for the majority of the season he was there for the Lakers playing great until he got hurt and then AD had to take over. But like, yeah, nah. Jew, I mean, congrats to Jew, but nah, I don't think he should have been.
Yeah, like
It's definitely a handful of players I'll take of him at that
yeah,
position.
like honestly, like next year when they have this, I straight up Sabonis ain't making this again. Julius Randle ain't making this again.
Yeah. I mean, it just
De'Aaron,
depends though. It just
yeah,
depends though, because now it wasn't um implemented this season, but next season is going to be a requirement that they have to play at least 65 games to make
okay.
the All NBA teams. And I had a list right here. Um, congrats to Sabonis. He got a $1.3 million bonus for making the All NBA team. So that's huge implications right there.
Honestly though, even with that, I still think like those two guys are still gonna be eliminated. I still feel like they ain't gonna make it
Mhm.
because there's guys like there's a lot of guys I feel like they have better seasons that you can make a case for.
Mhm.
Um, like how many games did AD play? Did he play? He didn't play 65 though,
Nah,
right?
he
He played
played
like
around like
60
54 or something like that.
or 54.
Yeah. Hey, the Knicks up 13 right now in the third quarter.
It will be the game I ain't watching.
Yeah, I've been kind of
they
tuning in and
they
out.
actually they have
Julius Randle just
16.
rammed in a three, it banked off the rim and then fell in. Okay.
So it's one of those heavy games.
Yeah, it's one of them.
This
But
is
yeah, so let's say if it was implemented now, Giannis, Curry, Jimmy Butler, Dame, and LeBron, they wouldn't have been eligible for the All NBA teams.
Mm.
So those 5 players that didn't play 65 games.
I'm actually cool with that though. I like the 65 game. I've always felt like for me it was for like a lot of times I always felt like 65 games was good for like MVP as well. Like
Yeah,
I feel like if you didn't play that much, you
because I
shouldn't
think
even be MVP.
what's the percentage for that?
I think that's I want to say that's 75% of the season, I believe.
That's right under 80%. So that's at 79.2%. So it's about
Okay, so it's almost 80% of the season.
80% of the season, which is a good number. But yeah, I think if we gonna have a intelligent sports debates and comparisons, we gotta at least I think we can get these players their flowers for making this team, especially now with the 65 wins being implemented. Get them their flowers for being great, being healthy, and playing throughout the season and making the playoffs. We can give them that credit while separating the two when we actually having real player comparisons. Because now I got to sit back and people tell me Julius Randle was better than AD because AD didn't make it All NBA this season, or Jaren
Which
Jackson
is just craziness.
a better defender than AD because he won Defensive Player of the Year, or like whatever, or like Jaylen Brown had a better season than John Morant because they voted for Jaylen Brown, or who made guard on or Darren Fox. I think it's comparable, but I mean, when we bring it up, they're gonna go straight to All NBA, and I don't think that's a it's a realistic debate, because I think Dame was great. I thought Dame was probably better than Shea this season, personally.
Yeah.
But as these voters, they do what they do. But I think it was cool to have 2 Kings on All NBA. I can't remember the last time a Kings player made it. Maybe DeMarcus Cousins made it a few years when he was
Yeah.
in SAC.
He would be the only one, and I'm not even entirely sure if he did or not. It's a very good question.
May have.
I feel like he had to probably made a third team or something.
Yeah, he was.
Now you got me wondering. We ain't gonna talk too much about DeMarcus Cousins though, because I used to be a supreme DeMarcus Cousins hater.
What, for real? You say don't cook?
Oh yeah. Oh man. I could show you some stuff I used to say, man.
All right, man. You can show me off air.
Yeah, I still stand by it, man. I was like, this man. I was like, he's the most overrated star in the league. It was like stuff like that.
But I mean, hey, you never know, bro. People, they like to go back in history. They say, "Oh, he made All NBA this season, and he made it this season, so he was better." And people don't watch basketball. It just, it frustrates me. That's all I'm saying. All right, Drew, man, that was a fun episode. You got anything else you want to?
Oh no, man. Let's get into these games. Yeah. See if
all
the
right,
Knicks are gonna hold on or choke this lead like they usually do.
Yeah, let's see. When the fourth quarter starts, Jimmy can activate and turn up on these boys. So, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like the video for us, subscribe to the channel. Also, follow us on Instagram at Double Dribble Pod. And it's wraps.
Yes, sir.